Everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Ward 1 Councilmember Brianne Nadeau, Chair of the Committee on Public Works and Operations. Today's Wednesday, September 25th, 2024, and I'm calling to order this virtual additional meeting of the committee on the Zoom platform. The time is 1:03 p.m. For the record, I'd like to note that we have a quorum consisting of at-large Councilmember Robert White, Ward 2 Councilmember Brooke Pinto, and Ward 4 Councilmember Jane Lewis George, and myself. Today, the committee will consider and vote on 6 measures. B 25-135, Illegal Dumping Enforcement Amendment Act of 2024. PR 25-737, Commission on Human Rights, Maria Burnett Confirmation Resolution of 2024. PR 25-736, Commission on Human Rights, Adam Meyer Confirmation Resolution of 2024. PR 25-794, Director of the Department for Hire Vehicles, Jonathan M. Rogers Confirmation Resolution of 2024. PR 25-920, Chief Technology Officer Stephen Miller Confirmation Resolution of 2024. And the Unauthorized Private for Hire Vehicle Investigation Authorization Resolution of 2024. The first measure we'll consider is B 25-135, the Illegal Dumping Enforcement Amendment Act of 2024. It was introduced on February 10th, 2023 by Councilmember Gray and sequentially referred to the Committee on Public Works and Operations and the Committee on the Judiciary and Public Safety for consideration on June 6th, 2023. The committees held a joint public hearing on June 27th, 2023. The purpose of B 25-135 is to amend the Illegal Dumping Enforcement Act of 1994 to enhance the district's ability to enforce the ban on illegal dumping. It grants the Office of the Attorney General the authority to file civil lawsuits for damages, civil penalties, recovery of the district's response costs, and injunctive or other relief against those who violate illegal dumping prohibition. The legislation also clarifies that OAG, rather than the U.S. Attorney's Office, is responsible for prosecuting misdemeanor violations of the illegal dumping prohibition. In addition, the bill, as introduced, would amend the definition of solid waste in the Illegal Dumping Enforcement Act to explicitly include appliances and tires. The only change the committee print makes to the bill as introduced is the addition of mattresses, furniture, and shopping carts to the list of expressly enumerated items included in the amended definition of solid waste. Recognizing civil lawsuits as a critically important enforcement tool, every other major environmental statute in the DC Code grants OAG civil enforcement authority. Closing this enforcement gap in the illegal dumping statute will help ensure that businesses and individuals who engage in illegal dumping do not evade accountability where criminal prosecution may be inappropriate or infeasible, or where administrative fines may be insufficient to address the harms and deter future misconduct. And I do want to note that OAG has stated that its intent is to focus its enforcement on repeat and high-impact offenders. The committee recommends the council approve B 25-135. Is there any discussion on the report or print for B 25-135? Councilmember Pinto.
Great. Well, thank you so much and good afternoon, Chairwoman Nadeau. And thank you for holding this markup on the Illegal Dumping Enforcement Amendment Act of 2024. And I'd like to express my gratitude to you and your team in moving this important legislation forward. This bill, as you mentioned, was sequentially referred to the Committee on Judiciary and Public Safety after this committee. And as chair of the Judiciary and Public Safety Committee, I'm committed to advancing this bill swiftly through our committee process after we take our vote today. This bill takes significant steps to strengthen our ability to combat illegal dumping in the district by explicitly including items like appliances, furniture, mattresses, shopping carts, and tires in the definition of solid waste. We're closing potential loopholes and giving our enforcement agencies clearer authority to act. I'm particularly pleased to see the expanded role for the Attorney General's office in both criminal prosecution and civil enforcement. This multi-pronged approach will provide more tools to hold dumpers accountable and recover costs for the district. It's important to note that this legislation will have a positive impact on under-resourced communities in our city, which often bear the brunt of illegal dumping. By enhancing our enforcement capabilities, we can reduce pollution and improve quality of life in neighborhoods that have historically been disproportionately affected by this issue. This bill is aimed at addressing systemic issues of those who repeatedly engage in this behavior, particularly businesses and repeat offenders who treat our communities as their personal dumping ground. That will no longer be tolerated. Lastly, my team and I on the Judiciary Committee will be working diligently to bring this bill to markup next month because we recognize the urgency of this issue. Thank you again, and thank you also to our colleague Councilmember Gray for introducing this bill and moving this important subject forward.
Thank you, Councilmember. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I move to approve the committee print and accompanying report for B 25-135 with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Thank you. The vote is unanimous. Thank you. The next measure we will consider is PR 25-737, the Commission on Human Rights Maria Burnett Confirmation Resolution of 2024. This resolution reappoints Ms. Maria Burnett to the Commission on Human Rights. The Commission on Human Rights is an agency within the Office of Human Rights that adjudicates public and private sector discrimination complaints brought under the DC Human Rights Act. This includes cases of unlawful discrimination in employment, housing, public accommodations, and education. The Commission has the authority to promulgate rules, regulations, and procedures that implement various portions of the DC Human Rights Act. Commissioners serve for 3-year terms, and by law, the mayor is required to select individuals with demonstrated background and interest in anti-discrimination law. Ms. Burnett is currently a member of the Commission and is a human rights lawyer, advisor, and activist for social justice with 20 years of experience managing programs, advocacy, and communications efforts as part of and alongside civil society coalitions and foundations on issues of human rights, rule of law, and social justice. She has researched and written on a broad range of human rights issues, including police brutality, free expression, child soldiers, women's and children's rights, and the use of torture and extrajudicial executions in Central and South and East Asia. Ms. Burnett is being reappointed to the Commission on Human Rights because she has dedicated her career to human rights and seeks to continue to contribute her knowledge and experience to serve district residents. The committee believes she's amply qualified to serve the district in this capacity and recommends the council approve PR 25-737. Is there any discussion on the report or print? Hearing none, I move to approve the committee print and accompanying report with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Okay. Any opposed? No. Okay. The vote is unanimous. The next measure we will consider is PR 25-736, the Commission on Human Rights, Adam Mayer Confirmation Resolution of 2024. The resolution reappoints Mr. Adam Mayer to the Commission on Human Rights. He's currently a member of the commission. He's also the Director of Housing at Pathways to Housing DC. In his current role, he's helped house more than 250 formerly homeless individuals and created relationships with over 100 landlords who now rent to Pathways for Housing tenants. Some of his accomplishments include fundraising for the construction and opening of a fully ADA accessible apartment building for adults with severe disabilities. He helped redesign the district's temporary assistance to needy families program and participated in the redesign and establishment of the Housing First program in DC, which has helped move over 1,500 houseless families and individuals from shelters to permanent housing. Mr. Mayer previously worked at the DC Council, and he has 26 years of experience overseeing the operations of 13 human service and public works government agencies. Mr. Mayer's professional background demonstrates a commitment to public service, justice, and equity issues impacting marginalized communities that more than justifies his reappointment to the commission. The committee recommends the council approve PR 25-736. Is there any discussion on the report or print? Hearing none, I move to approve the committee print and accompanying report for PR 25-736 with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Great, the vote is unanimous. Excuse me. The next measure we'll consider is PR 25-794, the Director of the Department for Hire Vehicles, Jonathan M. Rogers, Confirmation Resolution of 2024. The purpose of PR 25-794, the Department for Hire Vehicles, Jonathan M. Rogers Confirmation Resolution of 2024, is to confirm the mayoral appointment of Jonathan M. Rogers as the Director of the Department for Hire Vehicles. This resolution was introduced by Chairman Mendelson at the request of the mayor on May 8th, 2024, and referred to the Committee on Public Works and Operations on May 21st. Jonathan M. Rogers has been continuously employed in the district government since 2012 when he started as a Capital City Fellow and ultimately was employed by the Mayor's Office of Budget and Finance. He then spent 9 years at the District Department of Transportation as a policy analyst. From 2019 until the time of his appointment as acting director of DFHV, he served as chief of staff for the Deputy Mayor for Operations and Infrastructure, where he at times performed interim leadership duties when the deputy mayor position was vacant. DFHV's mission includes regulation, licensing, transportation policy, road safety enforcement, workforce development, and economic growth. The wide range of duties means that a strong candidate for DFHV director might be hard to identify. In fact, the agency has been without a permanent director since 2022. I'm thankful that Acting Director Rogers wants the job. I believe his previous roles in DC government will prove an asset to heading DFHV. I appreciate his emphasis on making sure the agency keeps pace with a rapidly evolving industry. He named a rewrite of Title 31 of DC regulations as a top priority for his first year as director. A comprehensive update of Title 31 has been needed for a long time, and I'm glad to hear he's prioritizing it. I'm also looking forward to working with him on the growth of DFHV into regulation enforcement of food and parcel deliveries, otherwise known as carriers for hire. To quote from his responses to the committee's questions, the Department for Hire Vehicles' authority to regulate these companies and enforce rules on the street needs to expand to allow for adaptation. As we recently observed with the sudden proliferation of motor-driven cycles, These companies adjust their operations quickly, and the agency needs the ability to respond proactively. Jonathan M. Rogers' experience, his testimony, and his responses to the committee indicate he's qualified for the position to which he has been appointed. Acting Director Rogers has demonstrated an enthusiasm for the mission of DFHB and openness to communication and collaboration with the council and the agency's constituents. The committee recommends that the council approve PR 25-794. Is there any discussion on the report or print? Hearing none, I move to approve the committee print and accompanying report for PR 25-794 with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 The vote is unanimous. The next measure we will consider is PR 25-920, the Chief Technology Officer Stephen Miller Confirmation Resolution of 2024. The purpose of PR 25-920 is to confirm the appointment of Acting Chief Technology Officer Stephen Miller as CTO. And the PR 25-920 was introduced on July 2nd, 2024 by Chairman Mendelson at the request of the mayor and referred to the Committee on Public Works and Operations for consideration on July 9th, 2024. Stephen Miller was appointed Interim Chief Technology Officer by Mayor Bowser in January of 2024. Mr. Miller brings to Octo 23 years of experience in public sector IT, the last 18 of which have been spent working in various positions and levels of employment within Octo. As interim and acting CTO, Mr. Miller has overseen information technology operations for over 37,000 employees and contractors, while collaborating with 80+ agencies to address the diverse needs of the district's 672,000 residents. Prior to this appointment, Mr. Miller held the position of Deputy Chief Technology Officer. During this time, he served as the division lead and agency executive responsible for end-to-end application lifecycle management and oversight of all software development and platform projects within Octo. He also served as Associate Chief Technology Officer from 2018 to 2021. In addition to his many years of experience at Octo, Mr. Miller also has a clear vision and goals for the future. Mr. Miller's testimony highlighted the importance of employees, residents, visitors, and those who do business with the district obtaining the services they need. To accomplish this, Mr. Miller plans to streamline communication, ensure that systems deliver for residents, and that all residents have equal access to technology that can bring them employment, education, and opportunity. The committee was pleased to learn that under his leadership, one of Octo's main focuses will be addressing the digital divide. It's crucial that the district focuses on equitable access to technology in all forms. As such, the committee is glad to see Octo's plan to focus on all wards, particularly wards 5, 7, and 8, and work with agencies like the Department of Aging and Community Living to ensure access for our senior population. The committee is also pleased to see Octo's leveraging of federal investments and grants, including the Biden-Harris bipartisan infrastructure law, which utilizes broadband, equitable access, and deployment funds to benefit the community. During oversight hearings, Acting CTO Miller demonstrated his deep knowledge of agency inner workings. He has been forthcoming with the committee and has demonstrated his willingness to work with Chair Nadeau on priority issues. Given his deep expertise and history with the agency, the committee is confident that Acting CTO Miller is highly qualified for the role of Chief Technology Officer, and the committee recommends approval of PR 25-920. Is there any discussion on the report or print? Hearing none, I move to approve the committee print and accompanying report for PR 25-920 with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. Vote is unanimous. The final measure we'll consider today is to authorize an investigation by the committee into the unauthorized operations of Yazam Inc., doing business in the District of Columbia as the ride-hailing app Empower. The committee has received numerous allegations of health and safety risks posed by Empower, which has not registered as a private for-hire vehicle company with the Department of For-Hire Vehicles. This is despite a recent DC Court of Appeals decision affirming that Empower is subject to the regulatory authority of DFHV. DFHV has repeatedly told Empower this and has offered again and again, as recently as last week, to assist in registering the company on an expedited basis. I am extremely concerned about the reports I've heard of drivers using the Empower app, including allegations of stalking, harassment, and impaired driving. Because of Empower's unauthorized status, there is currently no way for the committee or the public to know how extensive these behaviors are on the platform, how many issues have been reported, and whether drivers who engaged in these activities are still permitted to use the platform. And due to Empower's failure to comply with numerous laws and regulations that protect the safety and security of consumers, riders may be exposed to even further risks, including financial harm in case of injury. We have already heard of cases where people allege to have been hurt in Empower vehicles, but have no recourse. If a driver doesn't have insurance and can't afford to pay the medical bills, the rider is just out of luck. As a council member, I do not find that acceptable. Empower currently operates in defiance of a cease and desist order from DFHB and a separate compliance order requiring Empower to remedy violations by April 4th of this year. The company has yet to comply with any order or pay any fines issued for ongoing violations. According to DFHB, outstanding penalties exceed $100 million and continue to increase by tens of thousands of dollars every day. Empower's strategy appears to be demanding that council pass a law that would effectively absolve them of any wrongdoing. They've already drafted their own bill and begun circulating it, falsely insinuating that it has already been introduced. We're also in possession of draft of similar legislation they've proposed for New York City. We have a responsibility to residents and visitors in the District of Columbia to assist in upholding the law, and right now, Empower is clearly breaking it. The committee's investigation will examine the extent of Empower's violations and the impact of its continued operations on riders, operators, and the for-hire vehicle industry as a whole. It will also calculate the total amount the company owes to the district in unpaid taxes, civil penalties, and other fees. The ultimate goal is for the committee to determine if updates to district law are necessary to ensure the protection of riders and enforcement against future unauthorized activity. This is something the council is in a unique position to do. The Attorney General has initiated his own legal proceedings against Empower. My staff is in communication with his office already, and should our investigation proceed, we will coordinate closely with OAG to make sure there's no conflict or overlap in investigations. As a committee investigation, we will also be sure to include staff of all committee members. Ordinarily, I'd be content with more typical oversight methods, but after 4 years of Empower violating district law and their antagonistic behavior towards those seeking to hold the company accountable, it's clear that further steps are necessary. With that, I move the resolution, the Unauthorized Private for Hire Vehicle Investigation Authorization Resolution of 2024, with leave for staff to make technical and conforming changes. And I thank my committee colleagues for their support. Is there any discussion on the resolution?
I just want to thank you, Councilmember Nadeau, for taking these steps. I think it's critical. We've gotten emails and complaints to our office about Empower particularly and some unfortunate incidents that have occurred. And I think this is the right and necessary step for us to take. So I appreciate your team and your hard work on bringing this together, and hope that we can really bring some resolution to this situation that has had harm and will continue to have harm to district residents if we don't rectify it. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Is there any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. The vote is unanimous. Is there any other business before the committee? Okay. There being no further business, the time is 1:23 p.m. and this additional meeting of the Committee on Public Works and Operations is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.